everyone, welcome back to A Wild Approach. My name is Macy Lou, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a garden redesign and what that means and what I'm planning. Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you are enjoying this content so that I can know what videos you all like the best. So a garden redesign is exactly what it sounds like. There's a part of your garden and you're just kind of not feeling it anymore. It's a garden bed that already exists, but you're just kind of bored with it, or there's something not working, there's something not functioning properly, or there's something ugly about it, or there's something just, you're not feeling it anymore. And that is how I feel right now about my arbor garden, or at least half of my arbor garden. So my arbor garden is in my front garden, and it is right off of my front patio. And there are multiple reasons I want to change this garden. I want to change it for aesthetic reasons. I want to change it for butterfly reasons. I want to change it for the mosquito and tick reasons, which I will get more into later in the video. But I just want to change it for so many reasons. And my taste in gardening has evolved a little bit. It's not changed completely. I still love wild, messy, native, lush gardens full of life and full of just crazy wildness. I still love that. That is not changing. However, that being said, I'm looking at the garden now with fresh eyes, with eyes of 2025, I guess. I am 37 years old. I'm about to be 38, and I've been gardening for wildlife for around 6 years. And I have learned a lot in those 6 years, and while my aesthetic overall hasn't really changed, I've just decided that there's certain areas of the garden that I would rather be short plants, and there are certain areas of the garden where I would rather be tall plants. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of mixing of both tall and short plants in most of the garden, probably, really. But the patio area and the arbor garden, I've kind of decided that I want a chunk of this to be short plants. I'm reaching a point where I'm just ready for this section to be short plants, because the mosquitoes have been awful, but they've been awful for years. That's not really the main reason. But when you reduce how many things are tall, especially around your patio, you can kind of like lower how many mosquitoes are bugging you, because I noticed that the most mosquito-y areas of my garden are the areas in the woodland areas, the shrubby hedge areas, the areas with a lot of tall plants mixed with short plants, mixed with trees. Just like when you have all the garden layers, which I love, by the way, unfortunately, those shady, moist areas really attract the mosquitoes. So while I will never want to get rid of, having those somewhere in the garden, I don't need to have that right up against my patio and right up against my door. So I've just decided that I'm going to change this area. And a lot of you can probably relate to that. As your garden evolves and as you change as a person and as you grow and learn more, there may be things about your garden that you're just like, it just doesn't work for me anymore. And that is what this area is like. In celebration of spooky season, I've come out with a new merch item called Watch Out Invasive Plants. If you guys buy one of these shirts, you are helping to support the channel. You can also support the channel simply by liking and subscribing and leaving comments down below. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks to everyone who's already bought my past designs. Guys, my plants came today. I'm so excited about these, and I'm really especially excited about Downy Phlox pilosa, because I have been wanting this plant for so long. I even made an artwork of this plant, which I will show you on the screen right now. And I'm just so happy and excited to have this little phlox here. I got 5 of these and 3 of the rose verbenas for my arbor garden redesign. Here's the rose verbena, Glendularia canadensis, And these are like short-lived perennials, so hopefully this will actually, you know, grow and survive and come back year after year for at least a few years. But I recognize this plant is going to probably be one that I have to plant multiple times over the years and or grow from seed multiple times over the years. So I also bought some seeds for it, which I'll show you. So here are the seeds. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I'm so excited. It says that will germinate best with 4 to 6 weeks cold stratification. Germinates sporadically. I haven't really seen anything say that before, so that'll be an interesting thing to figure out, you know, how it performs. But then it also has some instructions on the back of the stratification and also outdoor seating. So pretty cool. So the big elephant in the room are me mentioning ticks. This is the first year I've ever gotten a tick on me in my own garden. And the first year I've ever seen a tick in my garden on a plant ever. That doesn't mean they didn't exist before, but it just means that I haven't had them in an abundance where I actually was seeing them and they were getting on me and I had to actually worry about it, right? I would mostly just see them on a rabbit here and there. And, you know, the rabbit was the host and I didn't have to worry about it. But it has turned into a situation where now they are trying to get me, right? One got on me. I know it's just one that got on me. And then a separate one almost got on me but didn't. So far, that is the situation. And it's not nearly that bad. It could be way worse, right? But it is an escalation. And when I just want to give a disclaimer because, you know, ticks are wildlife. They are part of the ecosystem. They are a very annoying part of the ecosystem. And I think that, you know, this video is made for humans and not for ticks. You know, obviously ticks aren't going to sit around, drink some cocoa and watch this video. This is for humans to watch. And so that being said, when we create wildlife gardens, I don't want you to assume that any ecosystem is devoid of ticks. Because if you're creating a wildlife garden, you're inviting everybody. Unfortunately, you're going to be inviting the guys we don't like so much to the party, as well as the gals and guys that we love to the party, okay? You're inviting not only the butterflies, the bees, the parasitic wasps, and the chipmunks and all the cute things, but you're also inviting the mosquitoes and the ticks, unfortunately. It's just a fact of life. And there are things we can do about it to make the situation less horrid, less torturous, less annoying, less frustrating. And at the same time still get to have our wildlife gardens and still get to keep the wildlife protected and the habitat looked after. And that is why I'm redesigning this part of the garden, because I'm recognizing that having this part of the garden have tall plants that just don't really make sense for the spot anymore, it just doesn't, it's not conducive to reducing the tick issues. So reducing the tick issues, I already have a whole video about that, you know, widen your paths, wear repellent, you know, the clothing that you can wear, putting the socks over the pants, you know, making sure you have good socks, blah, blah, blah. But that's a separate video, so if you want to go see that, check it out. Go watch that. It's my mosquito and tick video. You can go watch it. But in this video, we're specifically talking about a garden redesign, and it is partially inspired by the tick problem. Because ticks, they'll crawl up a plant, and you know, when you're walking and you've got plants falling into your path, the tick can crawl off of the plant onto your body. And this is typically how they get on you, is they crawl up your body from a plant that you're brushing up against. So really, I just want the patio area and the arbor area to just be a place where I don't have to worry about this as much. Do I still need to watch for ticks? Do I still need to wear repellent a lot of times? Do I still need to do these these things, yes. That doesn't eliminate the other safeguards. But what this does is I'm not brushing up against plants as much if the plants are short. Obviously, right? So we're just trying to use some common sense here. I'm trying to reevaluate this garden area. And another reason for reevaluating this garden area is that I already have privacy on the perimeter of most of my garden now. So like most of my garden is enclosed and private. So I don't really need tall plants up against the patio anymore. It's just obsolete. I used to need it for privacy reasons. I used to need it to screen views and things to my patio, but I just no longer need that because I've got trees that have grown up. I've got shrubs that have grown up in the periphery and the outer edges of the garden. So I can now move to a new design. So that's what this video is. So let's just jump into footage of me talking about the new design because I have actually drawn up a sketched design for this garden. And I think you guys might be interested in this because it's kind of fun. It's kind of different than my other content. And it might give you guys some inspiration and ideas. And keep in mind, this is subject to change. This garden will probably have to evolve as well. So if any of these plants don't work out, they die. Maybe the moisture level is different than what I expect. I expect this to be a dry, sunny spot just because of where it is. But of course, this year, 2025, has been a little bit different, and it's been a lot more wet, and we've had a lot more rain. And it is August as I'm recording this video. And let me tell you, the rains have been incredible. I've been enjoying it because I prefer rain, I prefer overcast, I prefer cooler weather, I prefer all of that. Now, we did have a lot of crazy heat, and it was very intense. But at least we're getting some rain. Like, normally August is just dry as a bone, and everything's crispy and dying and sad. But this year, not as much of that. A lot more lushness, a lot more rain. So we've got the area cleared. We moved a lot of stuff to the backyard. But things that we couldn't move, we put in our brush pile. So this is what it looks like before the plants go in. All right, so I have 16 plants here. 5 nodding onions, 5 phlox spilosas, 3 rose verbenas, and 3 creeping asters. And you know, I didn't think I had enough plants for this area because this area felt so big to me, but now that they're here, I'm like, are there too many? Once they grow in, are they gonna have enough room? We'll see, because rose verbena can spread out pretty decently. So just kind of looking around, I'll give you guys an idea, you know. Look at all the plosas really close together. I'm gonna have to spread them out more. I'll probably have one there, maybe one over there. But the creeping asters can get pretty fluffy. So it's gonna be interesting. We'll see. See how it goes. So there's the nodding onion. But yeah, my thought process is like putting the asters near the arbor because the asters get a little bit taller than the other stuff. So that's the plan for now. And we'll see how it goes. And this is what it looks like after we've put the plants in and we've put the mulch down. I think I used a pine bark mulch. And yeah, this is what it's looking like. I've got phlox spilosa, I've got verbena or glandularia, I've got nodding onion, and I've got creeping aster. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. They are on the shorter side. The creeping aster, I think, is the one that gets the tallest, so put it near the arbor, and The other ones are more flowing out away from the arbor. And this means I'll be able to see more of the garden from the patio, as well as having shorter plants next to our main arbor path. So I think this will be better if I can keep these plants happy and if I can keep the weeds down. I'll have to pull a lot of weeds in the meantime. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Hey guys, don't forget to follow me on Blue Sky and Instagram. These are the two best social media accounts other than YouTube, where you can find me and you can see me post photos of the garden, thoughts on wildlife, and more. So don't forget to follow me over there. Brand new items are now available in the shop. Thanks so much to viewers like you for supporting the channel. Do you need a short, quick guide to get started in wildlife gardening? Well, turns out I've got just the thing. I just came out with a new free ebook just for you, and it's called A Wild Approach to Gardening 101. And it's available on my website today at macylou.com/shop. It's free, so go check it out. What do you have to lose? To support the channel, like the video, comment, and subscribe. You can also support my work by buying art from me at macylou.com. Thanks for watching!